meant the Pokemon School. Chapter 5, A Law and Executor. Professor Kukui called the class to order. That day, Principal Og was teaching. His lesson was about how there were many Pokemon who looked different in the Aloha region. He started by pointing out the differences between the typical Executor and the Executor from Aloha. Wow, said Sophocles, their heads are totally different. But their faces look the same, observed Lana. They're built right. The principal went to explain that the warm and sunny weather on the islands created the ideal environment for many Pokemon. The phenomenon of Pokemon developing their distinct appearance based on the region in which they live is called regional variant. The principal continued. He went on to tell the class that Executor is usually a grass and Psychic type Pokemon. When he asked what type Executor in the Aloha region was, Lilia was quick to answer. A grass and dragon type, she called out. A dragon type Executor, Ash exclaimed, rushing forward to look at a long-necked Executor up close. Its neck looked like a trunk of a palm tree, and its tail looked like a thick branch. Whoa, there's something about this tail you should know, Lilia started to say. But Ash was already reaching out to touch the Pokemon's long tail. Quick as a flash, Executor curved the end of its tail around to face Ash, and that was interesting, because the tail has a face of its own. The face was round and lime green. The puckered lips and a full expression. In an instant, the tail ripped back and lashed out Ash, flinging him into the air. Ash smashed into a bookcase ladder, smacking another against each rung as it fell. Bam, 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 bam! Oh, brother, Kiwi muttered. Finally, Ash caught one of the ladder rungs so he didn't crash onto the floor. The tail of the Executor has a mind of its own, Lilia informed them. You need to be very careful in case it decides to attack you, which is what I was telling to say before. Ash slid to the floor. Next time, get to the point of it a little sooner, okay? It was clear Ash had a lot to learn about regional Pokemon, and he probably have to work hard to catch up with his classmates. And a spanking by a grass and dragon-type Executor's tail was not going to stop him. Luckily, Professor Kukui made up for the trying day with a delicious meal back in his house. It's called an Aloha plate. It's a popular dish in this region. Pikachu was adjusting well to life in Aloha. It had made fast friends with Professor Kukui's favorite Pokemon, Rockruff. Rockruff was a pocket Pokemon, and it had a long history of living in harmony with people. This Rockruff liked to snuggle up to Ash and Pikachu, rubbing their rocks on his neck against them. The next morning, Professor Kukui had already left for school when Ash woke up. Ash realized that he was running late, and it was only his second day. He raced along the road, Pikachu bounded close behind. As soon as they had reached the school's grand archway, they saw something blocking the entrance. Ash ran right to the object that was almost clear and felt like rubber. Whatever it was suspending and pushing Ash away. Suddenly, pop! And Ash and Pikachu fell backwards to the ground. What is that? Ash exclaimed, curious. One by one, Ash's classmates disappeared, looking very proud of themselves. When Ash saw Popolo there, he realized that he had to run into one of the ceiling line Pokemon giant bubbles. But why? A little surprise, Mallow, Lily, and Lana yelled together. Did he surprise you? Kiwi asked, offering Ash a hand up. You can say that again, Ash admitted. First off, Mallow began, we decided today will be the perfect day to have a surprise welcome party for you, and that's just the first surprise. And next, Sophocles added in a gruff voice, Academia, and I want to challenge you. Challenge? Ash said hopefully. A Pokemon battle, right? Ash was thrilled at the idea of a real Pokemon battle. He and Pikachu made such a good team, and it would be a great way of proving himself and one of the new classmates. Okay, Sophocles, I accept your challenge, right, Pikachu? Take that! Pikachu offered an excited squeak. Ash and Pikachu were ready to show their stuff. Chapter 6, Challenge Time. Ash and Pikachu look at each other. They're building their battle stance, but then they notice two giant tubs of balloons. Sophocles stepped in front of one of the tubs and crossed his arms. Tachydermy was perched on his head. Ash and Pikachu realized that it was not going to be an ordinary Pokemon battle, but a kind of carnival game. What a bummer! Whichever team popped all the balloons first win the game, Mallow announced. Ready? QI directed. Go! Ash and Pikachu went into good attitude, but it struggled to pop even one balloon. Meanwhile, Sophocles was using his sharp spines and Tachydermy's back to pierce one balloon after another. Pop, pop, pop. When Elia told them they could use Pokemon's powers, Ash jumped up at opportunity. Let's pop them all with Thunderbolt, he said. As Pikachu charged up, Sophocles looked at Tachydermy. All right, this is our chance. Pikachu sheared into the air and blasted off a strong Thunderbolt move, but the bolt didn't zoom towards the balloons. Instead, Tachydermy seemed to absorb all the charge. The roly-poly Pokemon spun around the balloon and tugged at a super-fast reel, bursting one balloon after another. Hey, what's that all about? Ash asked. Here's the deal, Sophocles explained. Tachydermy's ability is Lightning Rod. It absorbs lightning bolts with its spines. It releases lightning bolts as a move. Wow, Ash said, amazed. Tachydermy rocks! As soon as Mallow declared Sophocles and Tachydermy the winners, Lana told Ash what his next surprise would be. A challenge against Lana and Popolo, a Sandline Pokemon. It was going to be a Pokemon Aquathlon competition when the contestants run and then swim. On land, Pikachu used a considerable lead. As Pikachu dove into the ocean, Ash yelled, That's great, we're winning! Head for the finish line! But though Pikachu was speedy, Popolo was made for swimming. It has long fins for pushing through the water, and its body was aerodynamic. It left very little time for Popolo to overtake Pikachu. Popolo leaped triumphantly out of the water. Popolo can swim at speeds of 25 miles per hour, Lilia stated. Very impressive. I can't believe how fast Popolo can move, Ash admitted. Then Pikachu paddled up to land and last Ash greeted him with a worm-dry towel. Great Pikachu, we rock it. The next challenge was a tourist race against Kiwai. This really was not like any other school Ash had attended. While the race was close, Ash came up short. When he dismounted, he gave Taurus a big pat. Thanks, Ash said. You're awesome. Pika! Pikachu ran toward Ash. Thanks for cheering me on, buddy, Ash said. The Pikachu was no longer looking at him. Ash turned to see that Professor Kaguya is approaching them with Rockruff. You're now looking at your fifth surprise, the professor said. Pikachu agrees. Let's battle. Ash could hardly believe it. Whoa, a battle against Professor Kukui! Pikachu bonded into Ash's shoulder with the assignment. Before that, Mama added, I'm going to prepare us all a little lunch. But Ash really wanted a Pokemon battle, but all of a sudden, come to think of it, Ash admitted, I'm starving! At Mama's family restaurant, they all got their fill. Delish, said Ash, looking at all the colorful platters of food. Mama's restaurant is really good, and the Sophocles. I don't like eating anywhere else. Even the Pokemon had a tasty and healthy meal. They all ate off the same large plate. Just as Ash was going to take another big bite, a high trail carried over the wind to the restaurant porch. What's that? Ash mumbled, even though he's pretty sure that the sound was. He stood up and walked up to the edge of the porch, gazing into the forest. Suddenly there was a gentle swishing sound, and Tapu Koko appeared right in front of Ash. His classmates all gasped in surprise. "Mello's silent guardian," Lilia whispered in awe. "Tapu Koko!" "What a sight!" Mallow said. "Beautiful," Lana agreed. All the Pokemon murmured in excitement too. It was Tapu Koko hovering before them, face to face with Ash. The spirit guardian regarded him with an innocent gaze. "It's great to see you," Ash said. "I didn't give you a chance to thank you for the ring, so thank you." Ash held up his arm to show the spirit guardian that he was wearing it. Tapu Koko answered with an acquisitive chirp. With a speedy swish, Tapu Koko rushed forward and snatched Ash's cap from his hat, holding it tight with a sharp beak. It darted all around the porch. "It's so fast, I can see it." Tapu Koko dashed around playfully and dropped the cap on Pikachu's head. Then Tapu Koko grabbed the hat back and jetted off into the forest. Even though it glided with great speed, it was nearly silent. The students and their Pokemon stared in amazement as it flew into the forest. Chapter 7. Pikachu versus Tapu Koko. "Hey, wait!" In an instant, I started to chase after Tapu Koko. "Take it!" Pikachu called out to Ash as it followed the trainer. All Ash's classmates and Professor Kukui joined them. Tapu Koko easily weaved through the forest, floating over crystal clear streams and fallen trees. Ash and Pikachu hurried to feed up. When Ash arrived in the clearing, it seemed as if Tapu Koko had disappeared. Ash looked at the top of the tree, searching behind the jade-colored leaves. "Huh?" he questioned. "Where is it? Where'd it go?" Then Tapu Koko appeared again and plopped the cap on Ash's head. And a one leg stretched out, and is pointing right at Ash and Pikachu. "Hey, what's going on?" Ash wondered. "Do you want to have a battle with me?" By this time, the group had gathered behind him, but Tapu Koko only seemed interested in Ash and Pikachu. "A battle?" Kiwi sounded uncertain. "This first surprise isn't me," murmured Professor Cookie. "Guess it's Tapu Koko." "I read about this sort of things once," Lilia said. "Tapu Koko is a very curious Pokemon. Long ago, it had challenged Icelanders to Pokemon battles. All right, you've got yourself a deal," Ash said, looking right at the spirit guardian. "Let's have a battle now. Pika!" Pikachu chimed in. And once Tapu Koko spread his wings wide, a mystical force radiated up across the forest floor and put an electric yellow haze on everything. Professor Kukui gasped. "That's electric Terran," he said. "Ash!" Lilia yelled. "Quickly, electric type moves became more powerful when electric Terran is in effect." "Lucky for us," Ash replied. "All right," but before Ash could call a move, Tapu Koko dove forward, aiming right for Pikachu. The spirit guardians glowed with a bright, multicolored force. It hit Pikachu head-on, and the little electric Pokemon tumbled backwards. Tapu Koko spun around and took aim again. "Down, Pikachu!" Ash cried. Pikachu ducked for cover. "Now let's show them what we can do," Ash directed. "Pikachu, use Thunderbolt!" "Pikachu!" The mouse Pokemon cried and charged up. Pikachu's charge surrounded the spirit guardian, but when the fire fizzled away, Tapu Koko still floated there, unchanged. "I didn't do a thing," Ash mumbled in a sleep. "Tapu Koko just too strong," Kiwi said. When the spirit guardian rushed towards Ash, the younger trainer shielded himself. But a powerful Pokemon stopped in front of him and gently brushed his wings against the J ring. As it touched, the ring began to glow. "You want me to use it?" Ash asked. Tapu Koko made a light rearing coo, encouraging Ash. "Zeroing in electricity?" he said softly. "I have no idea how to do it, but I'll try." "Okay, Pikachu, let's try a Z move." Ash took his stance and Pikachu got ready. "Oh, Ash," Mallow murmured with concern. "Can they do it, I wonder?" Spokula said. "Oh, right." Ash crossed his arms, and the Z-ring seemed to glow brighter. Pikachu stood up, holding his paws into fists. Pikachu and Ash seemed to move with the same powerful strides as they geared up for the Z-move. At last, Pikachu called, "Go, Pikachu! Pika! The mouse Pokemon was determined, and his zigzag tail flapping with energy. Just as Ash thrust his clutch first forward, Pikachu did the same. Here we go, Ash grunted. Full power now! A ball of brilliant electricity stepped from Pikachu's paw and zoomed toward Tapu Koko. The electric type Z move, Kiwai gasped. That is Gigabolt Havoc, Professor Cookie confirmed. Wow! On the other side of the clearing, Pikachu's electric ball seemed to explode with a bright bang. The explosion sent a gush of wind in all directions. Pikachu was limned in exhaustion. The Z move took a lot of power. That was a Z move? Ash said. Oh man. When the dust cleared, Ash and Pikachu could see a crater in the ground. The Z move had left a trail of broken soil, and the explosion had blown a deep hole in the forest floor. Despite the directions, Tapu Koko hovered in the clearing, unarmed. The spirit guardian gave them a whistling coo, and then in an instant, it was gone. The next thing Ash knew, his classmate and Professor Cookie were all rushing towards him. Are you okay? Mallow asked. Yeah, Ash answered. I can't believe how strong you and Pikachu are, Mallow added, seeing what all the students were thinking. Kiwai noticed something. What happened to your dig crystal? He asked. It's disintegrated. Ash took a close look at his Rina and saw that Kiwai was right. That means it's too soon for you to use D moves, Kiwai said plainly. You haven't had an island challenge yet. Ash took a deep breath. He didn't fully understand the power of the Z move, but he knew that he and Pikachu could master it eventually. All right, Ash said gamely. I'll take the island's challenge trail. The others seemed surprised at Ash's brilliant attitude. I'll pass trail and I get another Z crystal, and then I'll be able to use Z moves the right way. Sounds perfect, Mallow declared. We'll all be cheering for you. Mountweed gave a chirp of approval. The rest of the students, except for Kiwai, all agreed. Togedemaru and I know lots of electric types, so Sophocles offered tons of stuff. There's one student who help needed the most. He needed a mentor, someone who knew all about Z moves work. He turned to Kiwai. Please, he said. Kiwai still looked reluctant. Well, I guess I have to, he replied. After all, I'm the only one of us with a Z ring. Yay, cheered Lana, Pikachu chirped in gratitude. Pika! That's awesome, Ash said. Thanks, guys. Now Ash and Pikachu had a new goal for their time in Aloha, and they had a team of helpful friends to help them along the way. Chapter 8. Enter Rotom Desk. Ash, I have something for you, Professor Cookie said later that day. They are both relaxing in his home. The teacher held out his hand. A present, Professor Cookie said, holding out a red gadget. What is it? Ash asked. It's a Pokédex, the professor asked. Wow, Ash replied. It wasn't like any Pokédex he had seen before. Regardless, it is the perfect gift. With all the new Pokemon Ash hoped to encounter in Aloha, a Pokédex would be super handy. Next, Professor Kukui said it was time to achieve the Pokédex, and he led Ash downstairs and surface. Perfect, the professor announced, as he tapped the return button on his computer keyboard. A series of codes flashed across the computer screen. We're all connected. Lights began to flicker, and an all-electric current seemed to jump between the computer and the other machines. Here it comes, announced Professor Kukui. The lights blacked out, and they soared back on. The crackle of static filled the air. What's going on? Just hang on, and you'll see, Professor Kukui responded confidently. Ash saw it out the corner of his eye. Something split from the electric socket. It swooshed around the top as softly, beeping all the way. It's a Rotom! Ash exclaimed. Rotom had a power to live inside various electronic devices. Now we just have to wait for Rotom to go inside, said Professor Kukui. Go inside? Ash repeated. Inside a Pokédex? Now this was getting interesting. With a zip and a zing, Rotom bounced around the office, finally whizzing straight into the Pokédex. What, is Rotom there? Ash asked, knocking on the red gadget. Eyes appeared on the device, and then the eyes opened, arms and legs sprouted, and the Pokédex face blinked to life. The Pokédex is Rotom and Rotom and the Pokédex, Ash said in amazement. The Pokédex seemed to be bipping a friendly hello. Aloha, Rotom, Ash said with a wave. Pika, Pika! Pikachu greeted the device. Language selection complete, the Pokemon stated. Wow, Ash said. Rotom just talked. Professor Kukui stepped forward and held with the instruction. Rotom, please lend Ash a helping hand from now on, okay? Understood, replied Rotom. Ash, user registration complete. Pokédex now booting up. The device made a rolling noise, then a click. That's 100%. Nice to meet you, Ash. Wow, we can even have a conversation? Ash said in awe. Of course, Rotom decks have been programmed to communicate properly with people of all different kinds. Awesome, Ash said. Awesome, Rotom Dex repeated. A long look crossed on his face. It appeared to be confused. Awesome does not compute. Ash was just saying that he is very impressed with your capabilities, Professor Cook explained. I understand, confirmed Rotom Dex. So awesome means excellent, and that means Rotom Dex is excellent. Professor Kukui said Ash introduces for Pikachu and Rockruff. Rotom Dex took pictures of both Pokemon to record them in his memory. Explained that it was a self-learning Pokédex that updated data every time it met a new Pokemon. Ash asked Rotom Dex to describe Pikachu using the information it had in its Pokédex. Right away, Ash responded Rotom Dex. Pikachu, the mice Pokemon, an electric type. It raises its tail to sense its surroundings. If you pull its tail, it'll bite. Pikachu, who was sitting on Ash's shoulder, was impressed. Rotom Dex hovered over to Pikachu and pulled his tail. Surprise! Pikachu sent out an electric pulse. It shook both Rotom Dex and Ash. They both yelled. Yikes! It doesn't bite you, Rotom Dex corrected, still shaking. It actually shocks you. Ash could tell that Rotom Dex would be an amazing help during its adventures in Aloha. Meanwhile, some of Ash's old enemies had just arrived in Melameli Island, fresh off this plane. Team Rocket might have been in a new place, but they were still up to no good. And as always, they like to announce their evil plans for the whole world to hear. This great and distant lands gave us a new brand new start, James declared. Yeah, we're gonna do everything for the greatest boss in Bossland. Ash meowed with a greedy grin. Their boss was a Tetris Givany, the notorious gym leader who wanted to collect all the rare Pokemon at any cost. Givany sent its minions Jessie, James, and Meowth and Wolf Buffett on the missions to gather any and all powerful Pokemon. Their mission in Aloha was the same as always. Givany had demanded, go and collect Pokemon the likes of which I've never seen before. Team Rocket didn't even stop for a stroll on the beach or a fruity drink by the pool. They quickly got to work tracking down Allah's most exotic Pokemon. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe me and have a great day. Bye bye.